Hello, my name is Prince from CubeWebs, and I would like to say a very big thank you to our esteemed man of God, Reverend Dr. Chris Oyakilome. Thank you, Pastor Sir, for the opportunity to talk to God's people and giving us very large platforms to talk to the world. And I also want to say thank you to my esteemed director, the director of Rhapsody of Realities, esteemed Pastor Yemisi Kudeimbo. Thank you so much, Pastor Ma, for the opportunity to lead CubeWebs. And I want to say a very special thank you to the director of the Cell Ministry, esteemed Pastor Christine. Thank you so much, Ma, for the opportunity to talk to leaders all across the globe. My name is Prince from CubeWebs, like I said, and I'll be sharing with you briefly on time management and how to organize a well-structured team. So, personally, I lead a team of over 116 that work on CubeWebs. So, and I'll be sharing with us also a brief guide to time management. So, but to start with, what is time management? Time management is the process of planning and controlling how much time to spend on specific activities. The ability to manage your time effectively is very important. Good time management enables an individual to complete more in a very short time, and it lowers stress and leads to success in life. As leaders, we are to organize our time and plan wisely for the future. But before we continue, I'll read the scripture, and I would like to read Ephesians Chapter 5 from verse 15 to 17. So let's look at what the Bible says about time management. So from verse 15 it says, "Look carefully then how you walk. Live purposefully and worthily and accurately, not as unwise and worthless, but as wise, sensible, intelligent people." 16 says, "Making the very most of the time." So he said, "Buying up each opportunity, because the days are evil." And 17 says, "Therefore do not be vague and thoughtless and foolish, but understanding and firmly grasping what the will of the Lord is." Hallelujah. So what I want to share with us 6 key points. Number 1 is organizing yourself. So number 1, organizing yourself. So you utilize your calendar for more long-term time management. You write down the deadlines for projects or for tasks that are part of the completing the overall project. Think about which days might be best to dedicate to a specific task. So utilize your calendar. And number 2, you plan ahead. So make sure you start every day with a clear goal of what you need to do for that particular day. What needs to get done that particular day. You really have to plan it out. You consider making it a habit to, at the end of each day, you go ahead and write out your to-do list for the next day, what you have to accomplish the next day. Now you have completed a task for the day, and you take out some time to write a to-do list for the next day. Number 3, you set goals correctly. You have to learn how to set your goals correctly. You set goals that are achievable, goals that are measurable. Don't set goals that are not easily achievable. They could be little goals, and if you achieve that, it gives you a little type of motivation. So you use what we call SMART method when setting this type of goals. In essence, you make sure that the goals you set are specific. So SMART actually means the goals are specific, they are measurable, they are attainable, they are relevant, and they are timely. So that is SMART. So you need that you really have to factor that into the project, into your task as a leader. So number 4 is prioritize wisely. So you have to learn how to prioritize wisely. You prioritize tasks based on importance and urgency. So the key word are importance and urgency. For example, you look at your daily task and determine which are 1, important and urgent. So are these tasks, are they important? Are they urgent? So this is what you do to them. To this particular type of task, you do them right away. So the tasks that are important and urgent, you do these tasks right away. So the second class is this task, are they important but not urgent? So what do? You decide when to do this type of tasks. So you may not really do them immediately, even though they are important but they are not urgent. So, and number 3 is that they are urgent but not important. We see sometimes they are very urgent. Someone could just say, can you help me do this thing right now? But you have some very important things that you're supposed to do. So this one, they are urgent but they're not important. What do? You can delegate this type of tasks if possible. So you can tell a team member to do it, an assistant cell leader, a public study class teacher, or someone close to you. I mean, those who are you're actually leading and you're grooming. So number 4 is they will have tasks that are not urgent and they are not important. This type of tasks you set aside to do later. So you choose a time that you do this particular type of task. So number 5, set a time limit to complete any task. You set a time limit to complete a task. Setting time constraint for completing tasks helps you to become more focused and efficient. You're focused and you become more efficient. Make extra effort to decide on how much time you need to allot for each task can help you recognize potential problems before they arise. Yes, what I'm saying is that sometimes you do a lot of simulation. We do it a lot on CubeWebs. So sometimes we like to simulate things like engagements, traffic. So we have been simulating the day that our dear man of God will announce CubeWebs to the entire world. So, and we've been simulating, what would it take to have like up to over 7 billion people hitting CubeWebs or coming to create blogs at the same time. So you have to think like that as a cell leader. So you don't want to wait till that particular day to get such thing planned out. So you have to simulate such situations. How about a leader who has just about 100 people, cell members, who is planning to have up to 1 million cells online on CubeWebs? How about this? What if a day comes and you have over 1 million people demanding your attention? How do you plan to manage such situation if you don't start simulating them now? So like I said, initially I spoke about I said number 1, again, to recap a few things we've said earlier. I said number 1, you organize yourself. Number 2, you plan ahead. 3, you set correct goals correctly. Number 4, you prioritize wisely. And number 5, you set a time limit to complete a task. And number 6, and this is very important, number 6, you remove non-essential tasks or activities. So these are some of the things you have to take time to, it will require your effort. You have to make decisions, to do some of this. It is important to remove excess activities, or tasks. You determine what is significant and what deserves your time. You remove non-essential tasks or activities. When you do some of these things, it frees up more of your time to, spend time on genuinely important things. This is very important. So, but what if someone who decides that time management is not important at all? Pastor usually tells us that there are consequences. You may have done it, somehow, and there are consequences of poor time management, and I would like to share that with you. And number 1, you would such a person would experience his poor workflow. The inability to plan ahead and stick to goals means poor efficiency. If you don't plan and you don't stick to the goals, you would not produce something that is nice, something that is desirable. For example, if there are several important tasks to complete, an effective plan will be to complete related tasks together. The tasks that are related to each other, you complete them together or sequentially. However, if you don't plan ahead, you would end up having, backtrack, and you jump back and jump forward, and this could actually translate to poor efficiency and lower productivity. So what it translates to in the long run is lower productivity. You don't produce the type of results that you would be proud of. So number 2 is wasted time. So poor time management translates to wasted time. Poor time management results in wasted time. For example, by talking to friends on social media while doing an assignment, you are actually distracting yourself. We see it every day, especially when we use devices. There are some, our phones are good. Social media is good. I love social media. I'm a social media, a very strong activist online, an influencer online. But I also use a lot of features that comes with my device, there's something we call airplane mode on your device. So at such a time when you are handling some very important tasks, you can actually learn to use some of these features, like putting your phone on silent, muting your device, or putting it on airplane mode. So airplane mode actually helps you to eliminate wasted time. So number 3 is loss of control. This is, I know sometimes I see people do experience this a lot. By not knowing what the next task is, you suffer from loss of control of your life. That can contribute to higher stress and anxiety. So you can actually, you trigger this panic button. It makes you press automatic, or by default you press a panic button. So because your time is not properly managed, not well structured. Okay, number 4 is poor quality of work. Poor time management typically makes the quality of your work suffer. For example, having to rush to complete tasks at the last minute usually compromise quality. So you have to learn how to plan ahead, how to organize yourselves very well at every point in time. And if you don't, like I said, one of the consequences is poor quality of work. Poor quality of work. And number 5 is poor reputation. So one of the major consequences of poor time management is poor reputation. Think about it. If your boss cannot rely on you to complete a task in a timely manner, their expectations and their perception of you adversely affected. If your supervisor cannot rely on you to get certain things done, or your pastor cannot depend on you to do certain things, your reputation will be questioned in a very serious way. So I'd like to do a recap. It's a very short class, so on time management and how to organize a well-structured team. So if you're a team, I know I'm talking to leaders. You're a cell leader, a Bible study class teacher, a leader of different category. I give you 6 points. So I said point number 1 is that you organize yourself. And point number 2, you plan ahead. Number 3, you set goals correctly. Number 4, you prioritize wisely. Number 5, you set a time limit to complete a task. And number 6, you remove non-essential tasks or activities. And I also share with us the consequences of poor time management. And I said number 1 was poor workflow, wasted time. Number 2, loss of control. Number 3, number 4, poor quality of work. Number 5, poor reputation. And I want to say thank you for listening once again. Thank you so much for taking our time to listen to some of the things we have shared. And I want to thank once again the esteemed director of Cell Ministry, esteemed Pastor Christy, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the opportunity to talk to leaders. And I also want to use this opportunity to invite every leader to go to CubeWebs to create online sales or interest-based sales. We'll have special packages for you. And thank you so much, everyone, for listening. God bless you.